Hey, thank you for joining me. In this part, we'll discuss the rigid body component, both in 2D and 3D. You can see here this is the rigid body 2D component. The first thing we'll discuss is, this is the component that gives physics to an object, and it's used to move objects, and it's superior to using transform translate. The first property here, the body type. If it's dynamic, then that means this object will interact physically with other object on collisions. And also you can have gravity. If it's kinematic, then that means you cannot move, this object can be only moved by script. It will not interact physically with anything. And if it is static, then that means it doesn't move at all. In this scene, we have three guys with three different rigid bodies. The first one here has a dynamic rigid body. The second one has a kinematic rigid body. And the third one has a static rigid body. On the right here, we have some colliders. And we have a simple script that just gives these guys velocity. So to start, we add velocity to all of this, and let's see what happens. Well, actually, maximize the game panel. Also, I made the code so that after some time we revert back to the original position, the starting position. So you see, the first one, being dynamic, it interacts physically with the wall and it moves. The second one is kinematic, so it does move, but it does not interact with the wall. And the third one, that is static, even though in code we give it velocity, it doesn't move at all. So those are the rigid body types. They're the same in 3D. Let's go to another scene. In this scene, we'll look at the mass property of the rigid body. We have three different guys here with different masses. The first one has 100, the second one has 500, and the third one has 2000. Sorry about that. So let's see what happens. We also have some balls here with the rigid bodies as well that are much, they have a very, very low mass. So let's see what happens. So you see, the heavier it is, the harder it interacts with those balls. That's the mass property. Let's look at the linear damping now. So if you go here to the rigid body component, we see this linear damping property. This here stops movement slowly. So regardless of the direction, this will stop the movement slowly. If it's 0, then the object has no resistance. It keeps moving. If it's different than 0, then this will stop the movements. Let's look at this example here. That is three guys. The first one has 0 linear damping, second one 0.2, and the third one 1 linear damping. Both have the same velocity, but they stop moving because of the linear damping, as you can see. We also have angular damping. Angular damping means the same concept, but for rotation. This stops the rotation. Same idea. We have 0 angular damping, 0.2 angular damping, and 1 angular damping. All of these have the same rotation speed, but some stop rotating, as you can see. Okay, let's see, we have gravity scale. That's how strong the gravity is. These guys here have different gravity scales. The first one, the green one, has the lowest, and the red one has the highest gravity scale. Let's see the example. So you see the red one touches the platform first because it's higher speed because of the gravity scale. But I forgot to show you this one. This one here. In this one, we use negative gravity scale and zero gravity scale. So if the gravity scale is positive, the objects fall down. If they have a negative value, the gravity is reversed. They go up. And then this one has zero, so it has no gravity. So let's see that in action. The green one has normal gravity, the second one has no gravity, and the third one has reversed gravity, -1. So you see, that's the difference. Let's look at constraints. If you go here to the rigid body component, we have these settings here, constraints. So you can stop the object moving on a certain axis. In this case, we stop the movement on the y-axis. Or you can also freeze rotation so that this object does not rotate when it interacts with stuff. In this case, we do have gravity, but because we freeze the position, the movement on the y-axis, this guy will not fall. And we have a script that just give this guy a velocity. You just give it some velocity on the x-axis. So if you play the same this guy, even though it has gravity, it will not fall because of the constraint. So as you can see, it has gravity, but it does not fall. Let's look at another example of this. The code first. I forgot what it is. Oh, I see. Okay. So in this example here, we have these two guys, and we apply rotational force to both in code. But the first one does not have the rotation frozen, but the second one has the rotation frozen. So when we apply the force, the rotational force to both, the second one should not move, should not rotate. So you see both we give both rotation speed, but the second one does not rotate. Now before we continue, I should show you some code for this. So you already know that variables can be whole components. So we can make rigid body 2D variables. Uh, Let me start with a previous example. So in 2D, we can actually change the velocity on a specific axis. We can say the rigid body dot linear velocity x. We also can say linear velocity y to change the velocity on the y-axis, or we can just say linear velocity without anything, and that will be the whole vector too. Okay, let's see another one. We can also change the rotation. we can say rigid body dot angular velocity. This will change the rotational uh, rotation speed to a specific value. Okay, I think that's everything until now. Okay, let's look at the next example. Let's see what this is first. Oh, my bad, this is the wrong example. This is an example of how to move stuff with a rigid body. So in this scene, we have this box here that can move around. We have invisible colliders on the edge of this terrain. So we look at the code for this. So we can just use a ASDW to move this box. Let's look at the script for this. We did not discuss how to get input, but here, this is with this you can get ASDW movement with the input horizontal axis and vertical axis. This here is either -1, 0, or 1, depending of if you press A or D. If you press A, it's -1. If you press D, it's 1. And if you press nothing, it's 0. And then the same for the vertical. So this is for pressing S and W. So we get this input every frame. You notice it in the update function. And we create the move direction, which on X is the horizontal axis and on Y is the vertical axis. And in fixed update, we update the velocity of that box to so move speed times this direction. And obviously, if we're not pressing anything, this here is 0, this here is 0. So this will be vector to 0. So it doesn't move at all. It will make the velocity 0 if you press nothing. That's one example of how to move stuff. This is a 3D example here. Same concept. We have invisible colliders on the edge. The code is a bit different. So here we have a 3D rigid body. It doesn't have 2D at the end. And it's exactly the same code as you can see. But when we create the move direction here, this is a 3D direction. It's not a vector 2. So we put the horizontal axis on the X and the vertical axis on the Y, because when we press W, we move forward, not up, but forward. And we do not move up at all, so we put 0 on the Y of the direction. And then when we update the velocity is the same, the move speed times the move direction, so it's exactly the same. Show you that this works. So this is the example. Okay. Let's see what this is, because I forgot. I believe this is about changing the velocity on a specific axis. Yes, that's what this is. Like I mentioned before, we can in 2D we can change the velocity on a certain dimension. So we can change the speed on a certain axis. So if you say linear velocity x, we're referring to horizontal movement. If you're saying linear velocity y, that's the vertical movement. So in this example here, we can move one of those guys horizontally and the other one vertically by pressing ASDW. So for the green one, we move it using A and D, because we use the horizontal axis. And the second one, we move it using the vertical axis, so with W and S. So we can just, not a very complex example, just move this guy. So when I press A and D, we move the green one. When I press W and S, we move the red one. So that's an example of how you can change the velocity on a specific axis. This example is about adding force, which is different than changing the linear velocity. Okay, when we change the linear velocity in code, we change the speed and direction of an object instantly to a specific value. But when we add force to the velocity that the object already has. So that's the difference. In this case, we have this box here. When we press space, we add some force. And it seems that in 2D, you can also add force on a specific axis. In this case, we add vertical force on the vertical axis here. So it's very simple. We press space and we add force to that box. And you'll see in a second what I mean by the difference between linear velocity and adding force. So let's press space a couple of times. And now I let it fall. When I press space, almost nothing happens when it falls and I press space. And the reason is we add force to the force that already the object already has. So that's the difference. Let's look at adding torque. So that's adding rotational force to an object. Same difference between adding torque and changing the angular velocity. When we change the angular velocity, we change the rotational force to a specific value. When we use add torque, we add rotational force to the rotational force that the object already has. In this example here, we have a box with some angular damping. And I believe when we press space, you add some rotational force. So we can say add torque. Another thing to know here is depending of this value here, the amount of force we add, if this is a positive number or a negative number, we rotate it either clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay, so I press space and this should rotate. And it stopped. You notice that if I don't press anything, it stops rotating because of that angular damping. There's a bunch of times you see this fast one. Okay, that's adding torque. We'll look now at an example about the gravity scale. So you have these three guys here. The first one does not have any gravity. The second one has, well, actually not the second one, sorry, my bad. So the first one has normal gravity, the second one has no gravity, and the third one has negative gravity. We already discussed this. So negative gravity means gravity the other way. So we have this. Let's look at the body type. Oh, we already discussed this. My bad. I believe we discussed this. Let's me look at the. Yes, we discussed this already. My bad. This is an example of the dynamic rigid body, the kinematic rigid body, and static rigid body, which we already discussed. That will be everything about the rigid body. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you in the video about input.